Hello everyone. Today I'm going to demo to you a personal finance application. It's a web-based application which I use it frequently myself personally, and I think it's going to be useful for the rest of you who are embarking on a personal finance. It's called You Need a Budget. It's a web application that you can access anywhere. The reason why I like it is number one, you can budget anytime, meaning that regardless whether you have a fixed income like a permanent job or you are a freelancer or contractor where your income is not certain. So YNAB doesn't care about that. As long as the money come in, you can start to budget. So that's pretty interesting compared to other personal finance applications that I've been using, where it's that you need to have a fixed income and the income needs to come into a certain date, and then only then it populates into your budget. The second thing is it uses the envelope concept, which I truly strongly believe in. So I can show you a demo later on how the embedded concept works. So I explained in my previous video. If you have not checked it out, please, I will try to link it somewhere here and there. You can check out my first video about the envelope concept. Then instead of using a physical envelope, you can actually now use a digital envelope, and it works great. Thirdly, it has a mobile app, which is actually critical for today because we run around a lot with our mobile phones everywhere. So and it's important because when you need to make a purchase decision and you are away from your desktop, you need an app to see whether you have enough money in your envelope. And the best way is to have a companion app such as YNAB in your mobile phone. Thirdly, goal settings are made very easy in YNAB, meaning that if you have a certain goal that you need to achieve or need to save for, like purchasing a car, going on a holiday, you can actually not go into debt into buying those purchases. Instead, you can plan those purchases over a period of time. And YNAB helps you plan it on a monthly basis or a weekly basis or whichever time that you decide. It has a certain feature that we'll go into it soon. So let's jump straight into YNAB. So what you need to do is go to www.youneedabudget.com, and it brings you to the main page of the YNAB, and it gives you a trial of 34 days. And I believe you can get 2 months trial, in fact, using a certain affiliate link, which if I do have a link down there, it probably I can get you a 2 months trial using that link. Yeah, so the concept is giving every dollar a job, and it has a mobile app. Okay, let's jump straight in. What you need to do is just sign up, and it's quite simple actually. Just put in your email and password, and you're done. And the monthly cost is after 34 days is $6.99 a month. And the best part of this, when you sign up, YNAB actually creates an envelope or budget, sorry, a budget for you that you should start saving to pay for this particular subscription software. And I think it's worth the money, to have this particular kind of budgeting software, and it does all the works for you. I think it's worth paying that amount of money. Let's jump straight in. So I have a budgeting demo here. So once you start a budget, it looks just like this. It's YNAB actually gives you a recommendation of immediate obligation, true expenses, meaning that expenses that in the long term, while immediate obligation is something that you need to pay very frequently on a monthly basis. And it also creates another category called debt payment. And I'm sure everyone always have debts such as student loans, car loans, housing loans, personal loans, and so on. And why not? The main purpose is for you to budget your money and budget your money and spend wisely every month according to the money that you have, and also clearing off your debt. So that's more important, clearing off your debt. And this software actually helps you how to clear off the debt. And you can actually save for quality of life, meaning that you can go vacation, fitness, education, and so on, pursuing your masters. You save for those instead of going out and getting a loan or overspending your credit card. And of course, life, we need to have fun. It's not all just work and budget and you don't have a life. You can have a life. So you are allowed to create budgets for music, just fun money, things that you like to spend on, Singles Day or so on, or Black Friday. Okay, how do we get started? First, create an account. Click on the add account. You'll be asked about linked and unlinked. Now, if you are outside of the US, I'm outside of the US, I will go with unlink, and I think this is the best option for all. As long as you're not in US, just go with unlink. It will ask you whether you have checking account, saving account, cash, blah blah blah. I have a checking account. I will choose a checking account. If you have a saving account, what happens is it will YNAB will actually detect it as an account that falls under the budget, but it's meant for saving. So I'll just go with checking. I'll just give it a name. I'm going to put Maybank. What's my balance? Probably 1,000 that I have. Go back to your account, check how much your balance in, and put in your balance here. So we start fresh. Click on next, and success, done. Okay, great. So I have Maybank here, and my budget starting balance is 1,000. Now let's get through the screen here. So one thing I like about YNAB is it gives you a clear instruction right on top. It shows you that this account is a Maybank and your clear balance is 1,000 ringgit. Your unclear balance, meaning that when you receive statements, you can actually start keying into this YNAB and you can mark it as clear or unclear if the particular transaction appears in your statement. So this is, I think, is related to the link account when you actually download it automatically to the system and you need to manually verify those transactions. And it gives you saying that you have a working balance of 1,000 ringgit. Now, assuming I have 1,000 ringgit and I have not received my salary, I can go straight to the budget. Now, as I explained, you have many of the categories, and typically I think all of us fall into certain of this, and you can actually create categories as you go on. Now, how do I budget? Step number one, pick the category that's relevant to you, meaning that I have a rent of let's say 500 a month that I pay. So I foresee that I will spend 500 ringgit a month, but it's not necessary that it has to be a month. It can be weekly basis. So on the right, you can see here is I budgeted for this month is about 500 ringgit, available 500 ringgit, meaning that when I budget this amount, now let me remove that. Undo. You notice that when I said I had about 1,000 ringgit in my Maybank earlier, so YNAB looks at it that you have 1,000 ringgit not to spend, but to make it work for your budget. So I have 1,000 ringgit that I have in a bank that I need to budget it. So for instance, I can budget about 300 ringgit for my rent and I can budget about 100 ringgit for my electricity. So total about available that I have is 400, and you can see that 1,000 has been 1,000 minus the 400 that I have budgeted for this month has been deducted from my overall budget, which is now left with only 600 ringgit, meaning that I only can budget 600 ringgit moving forward. So I assume my water bill is about 10 ringgit. Yes, it's cheap. Water is cheap here in Selangor. I have, but unfortunately the internet is pretty expensive. I have 200 ringgit a month that I need to budget. You see my numbers are going down. My groceries is quite expensive, and oh look, I've exceeded. It's in red right now. So that's the thing about I like about YNAB. You know, it gives you a nice color coded feature here to prompt you that you are 10 ringgit above budget. Now, what can I do about this? Simple. You don't, step one, you don't spend, meaning that if I'm budgeted over 10 ringgit, so I can just put in 390 and it's good. Budget is zero, meaning that I have allocated all my money to the categories that I need. My money is working for me now. You have to allocate all your money to your budget. So question here, I have to pay my maintenance, my fuel, and so on. And how can I create another category? It's very easy. This is a new category. You can just go create a new category. Maybe I like to keep it car. I like to keep it separately because I know my car. Okay, this is the category. Sorry, I can actually create a group category here. So I like to create car as a group category, and I like to keep petrol. Yeah, then I like to keep payment. Yeah, I like to keep it separately, so I'm just going to head and delete this. Yep, good. So I need to have a car payment every month, right? My car costs me about 500 ringgit a month. So I'm over budgeted by 500 ringgit. I need the petrol about 400 ringgit. I'm over budgeted by 900. So what's going to happen right now? Right now I don't have the money. But assuming that you know your paycheck is going to come soon, maybe next month, so on, or assuming that you just received your paycheck today. So today is 16 November. I can say my employer has paid me. So what I do next is under the category is to set it aside and say to be budgeted, inflow to be budgeted. This is salary, and I received about 2,000 inflow, about 2,000 ringgit as a salary, and I save. So I'm going to click on clear here. So it clears off here, and I go back to my budget, and voila, look, I have 1,100 ringgit extra to play around because it has deducted the 900 ringgit which was over budgeted earlier. Now I have 1,100 ringgit to play with. So I can just continue to put in all the necessary categories here. In fact, I can even save for the future. For instance, vacation. I would like to have a goal. Okay, this is where we create the goal. I like to create a goal that I want to. You can actually create a goal by target category balance. That means that you target to have about 2,000 ringgit for your next trip. Or typically what I like to do is I like to go by monthly funding. So I kind of like see, you can even target by date, meaning that I want to have 2,000 ringgit by 2019, December 2019, and click OK. So it calculates for you and tells you that you need to be saving about 142 and 86 cents a month to achieve this goal by December next year. So that's smart enough. So I can say that since I have $1,000 extra, I can start putting in 142.86, 142.86, and voila, my target for this month has been achieved. So it's interesting how everything here is budgeted, and you can see it's green. That means it's available to be spent, and I have that money. So what happens if I do spend? So if I go into the Maybank and I typically I spend, I usually put it like ATM, like I want to spend for oh sorry, let me put this. I have Maybank, and I say I paid for my car today, and what's my budget again? It's 500, and I save it. So I have spent 500 ringgit to my car payment. Let's go back to the budget and see what happens. You can see here that I have budgeted 500 ringgit, and in the activity column here, I have spent 500 ringgit to pay for the bank, and I have zero balance, meaning that I cannot use any more money for this month to pay for my car because my envelope is zero. But what if I have suddenly incurred additional charges and I need to pay the extra money? So I have to say, okay, Maybank charges me extra. I need to go back, which is not unusual. So Maybank will charge me, say, because I have made a late payment. Now I need I got penalized. I need to pay about 10 ringgit extra for my interest, and I can just put here car payment 10 ringgit. So it's clear. So if I go back to my budget, it shows me that my activity. Oh, sorry, I think I made a mistake here. Oh, sorry, it's not supposed to be inflow. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be outflow, 10 ringgit. Yeah. So now it makes sense. You can see that it's red now. That means I've overspent in this category. What do I do? Since I have some money here, so that's how envelope works. So it has all these buckets where you store cash accordingly to your budget. And sometimes the budget tips over, and because you have overspent the category, what do I do next? And you know that the other budgets are slightly higher and you don't spend that much. Maybe my internet bill this month is going to be only 150. So I have about 50. I can actually move. I click on this and I say I'm going to move about 10 ringgit to my car payment. You can see it, in fact you can see it here, it's red, highlighted in red. And I click OK, and voila, it's back to gray, means everything is okay, everything is good, the bucket is good, the envelope is good, and you're good to go, and you're not overspending your money. So I hope you get the idea and how the concept of bucket here works, and especially using this particular this software called YNAB. And I've just only scratched on the surface on how you can use this. I haven't gone into the credit card and other elements. So just giving you a rough picture, a rough idea on how software like YNAB works and will help you on making your budget works for you. So the end goal here while using YNAB is number one, you can budget efficiently using an application which does all the heavy works for you, and you have peace of mind, and you have a mobile app that you can check, and it syncs directly to the mobile app. So whatever you have on your desktop, you will see it on your mobile app. So when you go and before you go and spend, you can actually check whether you have the right budget. Do you have enough money in the bucket to spend for that particular category? That's great. And number two, I want to highlight that you can actually use YNAB, which I haven't covered in this thing, in this video, that to pay off your credit card debt, your personal debts, and so on. And thirdly, which I've showed you in this video, is how you can do goal setting, save to your certain goal that you want to achieve by planning it right now within the software. So I hope this may be helpful. If you have any questions, do leave a comment. Thank you very much and see you soon.